3 ways of achieving transcendent knowledge. So we'll move on from 424. If you have your Gita, we're at 424, and we're coming back to that moment. We've covered this verse a few times. And 25 will then go on to say, some people offer sacrifices to gods, while others sacrifice them into the fire of Brahman for the sake of offering itself. And here, what is being spoken of as to the gods really means, like, it's being referred to offering gods for something in return. Like you're praying for a nice new car, or you're praying for some more money. This is the offerings to the gods, where you're doing something to get something back. Um, Whereas doing an offering for the offering's sake, it's all about the journey of love. And that what true bhakti is all about. Like, we're not doing this to get to the end of the Gita. Alan Watts beautifully says, music is not about getting to the end of the song. It's about enjoying the music. It's about the love of this present moment. And that's what Krishna is saying here. It's all about the offering. Doing the offering for the offering's sake. Being love as we're practicing that. And so he compares some yogis offering sacrifices to the gods, while others offer sacrifice into the fire of Brahman for the sake of the sacrifice itself. Some offer the senses, such as hearing, into the fire of self-restraint, while others offer sound into the fire of the senses. We're offering, really, what's our intention? Some sacrifice material possessions, others sacrifice through austerities, others sacrifice through discipline, and others sacrifice through the Vedic recitation and knowledge. Some people offer the in-breath and then the out-breath, pranayama. Some people might do service. Some people might practice yoga, yogic postures. Some people might read the Bhagavad Gita. These are all various forms of offerings. But what are we doing them for? What's the intention? What's the purpose? And the Gita here is comparing. People are doing it, those who are doing it to achieve something, and those who are doing it to be love. Those who are doing it to be situated in the heart, sthita pragya, to be uh, uh, residing, connected to God. Those who enjoy the ambrosia of immortality, which consists of the remnants of sacrifice, reach everlasting Brahman. O best of Kurus. One who performs no sacrifice does not even enjoy place in this world, what to speak of the next. So I think it's really, really interesting. Like, ambrosia and immortality consists of the remnants of sacrifice. What does that mean? Like, but the first thing that comes to my mind is you have this beautiful group of friends, say for example, and you go for a meal. Who's the one who waits and serves everybody and makes sure, here, have you had food? Take some of this, sharing it with everyone. And then the remnants of that offering that's remaining eats that. That's the ambrosial nectar there. Or the loving mother that serves everyone first and then eats after serving everyone, gets the ambrosial nectar of that service. Here we're offering it all up. We're offering whatever our offering is, whether it's food, whether it's the arti, whether it's our work in the world, our energy and vitality and efforts, offering it all to God, and then enjoying what's left of that is then received back to us as prasad. Many kinds of sacrifice have thus been declared to be the means to attain Brahman. Know them all to be born of action, and you'll become free. Better the sacrifice of knowledge than the sacrifice of material possessions. Better the sacrifice of knowledge than the sacrifice of material possessions. For without exception, all action culminates in the attainment of knowledge. So, how do we achieve transcendent knowledge? In the Upanishads, there's a word called Prati Bodha Gyan. Prati Bodha Gyan. Knowledge beyond that of the mind. Transcendent knowledge. We achieve it in three ways. Three ways of achieving transcendent knowledge. Humility, humble submission, devotion. So from humble submission we receive it. Number two is intense inquiry, that desire and search for it, that we want it, that longing. I have this book always by my side, the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsi Das. And in this text, he describes a chakori bird. And a chakori bird, if anybody's heard of it, eats off of moonbeams. So, the moonbeams are just there, and it's just like in love with the moon so much, it just survives off the moonbeams. That's us with God. And to be like that chakori bird that's intensively in devotion, in connection. And thirdly, service. So we have this beautiful verse here that describes humble submission, intensive inquiry, and service. This is the way you can receive truth. The self-realized who have seen the truth can impart such knowledge to you. One who is self-realized can help us achieve that state too. A guru, an enlightened being, a Buddha. Let's see the word. Jnanina Tattvadarshinaha. O son of Pandu, when you have thus understood this truth, you shall no longer be subjected to delusion. You will recognize that all beings are both in yourself and in me. All beings are in yourself and in me. Now, understand this how you will, depending upon your own philosophical view. For me, it's very clear. This is quite an Advaitic worldview that's being shared here. Advaita, non-dual. Because Krishna is not only saying that all beings are within God. Krishna is saying all beings are within you. The Atman, within your Atman is every living being. You are that. You are the world. Tattvam Asi. The Upanishadic truth is here. All beings are within you, and you are in. All beings are within me. I am in you. You are in me. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman. All of this is within Brahman. Even if you are the greatest of sinners, the boat of knowledge, of jnana, will allow you to transcend all evil. As fire burns, kindling wood to ashes, so the fire of knowledge burns to ashes the result of all actions. In this world, nothing purifies more than knowledge. One whose knowledge is perfected by yoga realizes this truth. Intent upon truth and full of devotion, one who disciplines the senses acquires wisdom. and having acquired wisdom, quickly attains the supreme peace. Imagine that. That even no matter how much we have done wrong in the world, in our life, there is a way for each of us to transcend it, to go beyond the material nature of our life and achieve a transcendent state, no matter what we've done in our past lives. And all karma, all action can be destroyed by transcendence. Those who are ignorant, without love, who are overcome by doubts, constantly fall. For doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor the next. O conqueror of wealth, action no longer binds one who is intent upon the soul, whose fruitive actions have been renounced through yoga, and whose doubts have been cut down by knowledge. Therefore, through the sword of knowledge, cut down ignorance that has arisen in your heart. O descendant of Bharata, arise and take to the discipline of yoga. That is the last verse of chapter 4. Um, very clear to me what Krishna's arguments and cases to Arjuna. He's sharing the material worldview and the spiritual worldview. We can look at the world just in the way we see it, that this is a meal and I'm going to devour this meal. I'm going to enjoy this meal as it. Or we can look at this meal as a sacred offering. And we can look at it as a way to achieve a spiritual state, or it's a sadhana. And and I feel that this chapter about knowledge, about renouncing our desires, is really preparing the ground for further exploration of what action is and how we actually do that. Because here Krishna is giving us some example of how we can do this. You know, when he speaks about humility, when he spoke about service, um, service, humility, and um, what was the third? Intensive inquiry, like the Chakori bird, or the intensive yearning. Many of you might have read this wonderful book of Yogananda, Autobiography of a Yogi. And what I really loved about that Autobiography of a Yogi book was this crazy search for God that Yogananda had. And he was just like, oh, I want to go to the Himalayas. I need to speak to saints and sages and explore the spirit, and just that yearning quality that I have this calling to do something in my life, or to be in that devotional space, or to be connected with God, and that having that is a great grace. So for me, in many ways, that yearning to be spiritually aligned um, is grace. It's the phone call of the Guru, or phone call of God, that allows us to be here, to want to yearn for that instead of other things. Like why when the stream of samsara, or the waves of samsara are all pulling in us into the ocean, we are walking back the other way, up to the beach and saying, look, let's look back that way and look up the mountain, and look at a different path, because that's grace that's allowing us to open our hearts into more connectedness. I was thinking of pausing there, but I'm just going to make a start on a few words of chapter 5, um, because it's quite relevant and we can come back to it in next week's session. But chapter 5 is about renunciation and action. Renunciation is a bit of a a negative word in our society, right? Because everything is built on consumption and us spending lots of money. So anything that makes us draw away from uh, consuming lots of stuff is generally kind of against our modern way of life and therefore frowned upon quite a lot. But Arjuna asks a really wonderful question of Krishna here. Krishna, you've just praised renunciation of action as well as yoga. Please tell me which one is better. You've spoken about this renunciation of action as well as yoga, which is, path of action, which is better. Krishna answers, both renunciation and karma yoga lead to the highest good. But of the two, karma yoga is better than renunciation of action. You could look at this a little bit like in the sense that, back then in this wonderful period uh, in ancient India where you have this um, spiritual renaissance, like this is the period of Buddhism and Jainism and great saints who are achieving spiritual state, as ancient India of yogis and this I think my friend Bob Thurman calls this the Axel age, where there's like great spiritual progress in the world. Many people may have tuned out and gone and become monks, or gone to meditate in caves and leaving their worldly life for a life of renunciation, like the Buddha would have done. Here, Krishna is actually highlighting that you can do that through karma yoga. You can still achieve this state of equanimity and oneness with God and connection and balance and spiritual awareness within your own heart, living right here in the world through the process of karma yoga. One who neither hates nor desires, who is without duality. Nir, nirdvandana. Nirdvandana is the word. Without duality is known to be ever renounced. Such a person, O great armed one, is freed from bondage. Only the immature speak of the distinction between Sankhya and Yoga, not the wise. By properly following either, a person attains the results of both. The position obtained by the followers of Sankhya is also achieved by the followers of Yoga. One who truly sees knows that Sankhya and Yoga are identical. This is the perfect place to stop. Two things. One, we're talking about these ancient Hindu schools of philosophy, Sankhya, Yoga, Karma Yoga, the various different methods. Ram Dass would certainly call them paths to God. For the modern world where we have lots of various religions, um, I think this is quite relevant for shaping our worldview of how we engage in spirituality. When I went to uh, Palestine, I I visited the birthplace of Christ in Bethlehem, and it was just beautiful to see all these devotees coming and crying. They've traveled from all over the world, and this small shrine where you go down these steps, and it was, for me, it was no different than a beautiful temple. It was so, like, you could feel the spiritual energy there in that place. And then when you visit Jerusalem and you go to the Wailing Wall, you can see the devotion of the Jewish folk there. Or you see Al Aqsa Mosque and you see all the Muslim devotees praying there. I think if Krishna was with us and teaching the Gita to us today, he would say, have that kind of a view that, all paths lead to God, that all of these traditions have truth within them and can go. So just I've lost track of time because I just landed today, but I think it was yesterday. No, day before yesterday. I visited a 1300-year-old temple called the Modera Sun Temple. And apparently, this beautiful temple is a place where after Ram and Sita traveled back from Lanka after killing Ravan in the Ramayana, they performed a great fire sacrifice in this Dharmaranya forest. And this beautiful location, there's this huge temple dedicated to the sun. And it's extraordinarily beautiful. The Modera Sun Temple, if you ever get a chance to visit, is in Gujarat in India. And and just by that temple, there's a step well that goes down into this huge pool. But around the pool, there is 108 shrines, all these different gods and deities, and Hanuman's there, and Ram's there, and Krishna's there, and the mother goddess, and Shiva, and you see all of these wonderful depictions of the sacred all around you. So adding one or two more is not too painful for people who are steeped in this kind of worldview. And I think you see it there in the Gita as Krishna explores that way of understanding spirituality, that it's actually ignorance that will not see juice in other fruit. All fruit has that juice within it. If for a true spiritual seeker who wants to see um, who wants to taste the juice. And many people, you might see them sometimes online, you see these videos of people trying to convince other people that their way is better than their way. And they will, speak harshly to one another and say, chapter 5, verse 76, you look at this, says this, and you should follow this, and this is why the Bible is wrong, or this is why the Quran is this is why, and then they're shouting at each other and being mean to one another and, trying to kind of belittle each other. And you just think, oh, how could this be spirituality? How could this be high love? Uh, this is all mind as well. It's not heart. Whereas Krishna's saying that's ignorance. This we should look at the paths as different means to achieving the same place. So, um, two major things there. I am in you, and you are in me. All beings are within you. All beings are within you. So therefore, loka sangraham, for the benefit of the world, you should act. And secondly, this idea that all paths are true. All paths take us there. So yeah, let's pause there. Let's pause there. We're up to 5 verses in of chapter 5. There's 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, so we're making good progress. Hopefully, we'll finish sometime this year, and we'll all be uh, living in the era of the Gita much more and taking it into our daily lives.